Hi, my name is Tim, and today I want to talk about the stock PLAYMagnus. It's a chess company, and I guess as everybody know, chess became really popular when the series Queen's Gambit got launched. There was a lot of attention on chess, which was a good development. But also before, during the lockdown, many people started to play chess, like myself actually, and therefore chess became really popular also on Twitch and on streaming platforms. So for me, I'm by no means a good player, maybe slightly above average, but because I'm a chess player, I'm like interested in the stock. And when PLAYMagnus announced a partnership with FTX Crypto, which is a crypto trading company, it dragged my attention even more, and therefore I want to make a small introduction into PLAYMagnus today. So to start off, let's talk about the game chess itself. So chess is a really historical game. It's been played since 200, 300 years. And currently there are over 650 million players. So it's already a huge game, which has been played globally. So it's a nice market. And also it has a very good impact on people. Like for small kids, if they learn it, they get better when it comes to math, better when it gets to logical thinking, but also better at creative thinking. And it also has a good reputation. So I think parents rather want to put their kids into a chess course than see their kids play Counter-Strikes, for example. The next thing is that it's actually not really commercialized yet. So it's not like football where there's a big Champions League and big tournaments. It's a rather small business, so to say. But currently there's something changing, and that is the online boom. So more and more people play it online, more people stream, and the viewerships go up. For example, like Hikaru Nakamura, he gets like more than 10,000 people watching his streams, for example. And also in Germany, so I'm from Germany, there are people like Kugelbuch or Niklas Huschenbeet, which currently rise and rise when it comes to their viewership. However, I don't want to only talk about the positive things of chess, but it also has some drawbacks. For example, if you wanted to learn chess in the past, you had to do it also from books. But this can be really annoying because there are a lot of notations and you have to be really careful about all the stuff. So this was really annoying, but today you obviously can do it also on the internet, and this is much more sufficient. And PLAYMagnus has a huge section in this, for example, with Chessable or Aim Chess. And you can see it, for example, on Aim Chess, you can see how your rating is, how your playing is, and you can also improve with solutions which match your play, basically. The second drawback of chess is that watching chess is actually pretty boring. For classical chess, for example, both persons have more than 90 minutes time, and it gets really long and nobody wants to play it. But there's a solution also by PLAYMagnus, and the solution is that it's called rapid chess, where both persons only have 15 minutes time, so it gets much more faster and therefore a bit more exciting. Also, you can see the players' faces, so you can see their emotions and everything. You can also evaluate the position by computer, and you have two nice commentators. So I can give you an example, and I think that PLAYMagnus did a good job at making these online tournaments.
Nakamura has just blundered and is suddenly... Is he losing? I think he's losing.
Yeah, he's losing.
There's a winning move for Magnus Carlsen. It's a genius idea. It's so difficult to find. Only one move wins for black. He can play rook takes pawn, giving up his rook. And that looks like madness. White can take it in two different ways. He hasn't found it. This would have won for white, won for Magnus. Turned the game round completely, 360. Magnus is about to resign, the white king.
Let's talk about their whole business model now. So you can divide chess into playing, watching, and learning. And PLAYMagnus, they want to do everything at the same time. So they want to have a big ecosystem. And for the play part, they have PLAYMagnus. This is an app where you can play Magnus Carlsen, which is the current championship of chess. But you can see playing is actually only a small part of PLAYMagnus. The bigger part is the Chess Champions Tour, which I already mentioned, which is growing and growing and getting bigger. And the biggest part is actually the learning part for PLAYMagnus, and therefore they have sites like Chessable or also Aim Chess, and they really acquired a lot of companies. And you can also see it here, the revenue is really big, and the biggest part comes from the e-learning part. So actually, PLAYMagnus is a company which aims to the persons who want to play chess a little bit longer and want to get better at it. Also, they bought some publishers, so they also sell books, and they are really in every aspect which comes along with chess, basically. So now that we know about the business model of PLAYMagnus, we now want to have a look at their financial data a bit more and about their growth. If we look at the bookings, which is basically their money income, we can see that it's growing really rapidly. We can see the big impact that Queen's Gambit had in Q4. So this is this big leap in bookings. But also in the quarter afterwards, we can see that it increased even more. So we can basically say, okay, Queen's Gambit is not only the only driving force which increases the bookings. These bookings also increased because PLAYMagnus ordered more companies, they acquired more, and so the bookings are also now within these bookings. But the organic growth, which is the growth of the companies which PLAYMagnus already owned, is also 167%, so it's growing rapidly. Also, monthly paying users, you can see it's growing almost exponential, so that's also good. And the average revenue per paying user is also increasing linearly. Here you can see that the Q4 is always a bit higher than the other quarters, and that's basically because it's winter, it's Christmas, people have more time, more money, and that's the reason why it's always a bit higher. The revenue for this year is expected to be $21 to $23 million, which is already exceeding the expectations. Before it was only 19 to 21 million. So we can see the growth is actually bigger than they expected. And in 2025, they want to earn 60 million revenue in dollar. But this can be also, this can be reached a little bit earlier since their growth is actually exceeding their expectations. And the break even, where Magnus Carlsen earns more that they have to spend, is expected to be next year. So let's see. If we have a deeper look at the financials, we can see that PLAYMagnus at the moment is not profitable. So their operating profit is minus $3.9 million in Q1. This was minus $2 million in the Q1 of the last year. And this has some reasons. Basically, they had really high costs when they initialized the Chess Championships Tour in this quarter and also in the last quarter. So they had to build a studio in Oslo, which comes along with high costs. But these costs basically will stay stable, they said. And the other thing is that they are hiring programming teams, for example, one in Poland, and they're growing their site, so they are hiring many people, which costs money, and that's basically the reason. However, the Chess Championship Tour at the beginning was only meant to be an advertisement toy for their other platforms, but now it's so successful that it's on pace to break even. So that's also good news in this department. If we look at their balance sheet, we can see that they have a huge position in cash. So on May 25th, they have 35 million in cash, which is really big. And the liabilities should be pretty small, so only $7 million. So we can see cash is much bigger than liabilities, and that's good. And that came across, or the reason for this is the IPO in the last year, where they really could pay off much of the liabilities. And also we have to see that for this quarter, they acquired many new companies like Aim Chess or Ginger GM. So $5.4 million of the outflows is due to acquisitions, and this won't happen every quarter, basically. Of course, we also have to talk about the risks of investing in the stock. And one would be that chess is just a hype, so to say, and that it will decrease after Queen's Gambit and so on. However, as we saw in the bookings, even after Queen's Gambit, it still increased. So I think chess is not just a hype, it's a really established game, and it will always have some players which want to get better and which want to play. Another risks is, however, that there are several new competitors. For example, chess.com, like it's a platform where people actually play. This is one competitor. Then there is Lichess. It's also a platform where everything is free, and you can also play, improve your tactical abilities and get better. And there's also Kasparov Chess. Kasparov, he also was a world champion in chess. And he also started a website. He also started streaming some tournaments. So there's competitors, but yeah, I watched an interview with the CFO of Chess24, which belongs to PLAYMagnus, and they said basically that the whole chess market can grow, and there's space for new competitors. And I just want to point out that they want to create a new Champions League with the Chess Championship Tour, and therefore there's also many things to come. Another risk is that this company is closely related to Magnus Carlsen, which is the current chess championship winner, and if he does some stupid things or so on, also this brand could suffer. Now we also want to look at the chart and at the stock PLAYMagnus, and we can see that it only was released in November of last year, and followed by this there was a sharp increase by the price, and afterwards there was a slight increase over many months till 150 euros, and now the price is basically stable at a price which is a little bit above 2 euros. So the big question about PLAYMagnus is actually if it's cheap or if it's completely overrated. And for that I want to look at the price sales ratio, which is the market cap divided by the revenue. And first, the market cap is $142 million for a share price of 2.06 euros. And what I do now is I add the liabilities to this market cap and subtract the cash, and therefore I get an adjusted market cap of $112 million. And if we now divide this number by the revenue, which is $23 million for this year, we get a price sales ratio of 5.0. And this is it high, is it big? It's not so easy to say, but we can basically look at other companies, also growth companies like PLAYMagnus, and look at their price sales ratio. And one example is Bumble. That's a dating platform which also is growing rapidly now. And there the PS ratio is 7.8, so it's much higher than 5.0 for PLAYMagnus. And also Oatly, they make new drinks out of oat, and their actual price sales ratio is 31.5. So this is not the expected one for 2021, I know, but we can see basically the PS ratios are much higher for our companies, and we can say, okay, PLAYMagnus is growing really, really a lot. We have like over 100% in growth. We have an upcoming World Championship in November, so there's much more stimulus. And for me, I would say, I know the company, I know the products. For me, I can say, this is an interesting price, and I bought some stock, so I'm actually biased, so don't believe everything which I say. But basically, in my opinion, this is not too expensive as a stock. But always make your own thoughts.